Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Revell, and this week I'm going to feature a build here of a Plymouth 67 GTX. And the GTX was actually an option package, kind of like the Pontiac GTO for 64. This was based on the Satellite, and it says Belvedere on it, but it's based on the Satellite package. So, being that it was a separate package, the production numbers are kind of confusing and not very well tracked. So it's a little confusing trying to research the numbers on how many of these were actually built, because Plymouth has records that were saying about 32,000 satellites were made, and the GTX package was available on top of that, so the package isn't quite tracked as easily. But when it came to the package, once you got to the GTX, it came with these hood scoops here and a little bit sportier look to it, and it was meant for an upscale market. And it came standard with the 440, which was 375 horsepower, or for $500 and something you could step up to the Hemi, the 426 Street Hemi, that made 425 horsepower. And a few people did, but not very many. But it was kind of a pricey car already. It was a little over $3,000 as the GTX, and that didn't even include the stripes. The stripes were an extra cost option, which a lot of them got, and I understand the stripes are available in 5 different colors, along with 19 exterior colors. So there's a lot of color options for this, which make building it kind of fun. And being that they all came with the 440, most of them got the 440. Now what it does say, reading, and is about 12,000 something were produced as GTXs, but that number is kind of mudded up a little bit because Plymouth really didn't keep track of the GTX package as well. And then same thing with the Hemi. I read somewhere that 700 Hemis were put in these cars, or it was 700 and something Hemis were in 67 Plymouths across the board. And then I read somewhere else that GTX has only got like 125 Hemis for 67. So I kind of believe the lower number because of the production, but I'm not really sure. And then being that the convertible was a rare option, being that 32,000 hardtops were made, the convertible was a little over 2,000 GTXs were produced. And that seems to be where everybody really narrows down, where it was 10 automatic convertibles were made and 7 4-speed convertibles were made with the Hemi option. So there's 17 Hemi convertibles out there that were produced, and that one's a very rare car. And I actually want to build one of those. I have a couple more of these kits, and you know, it's a real easy one to cut the roof off and convert it into a convertible. So I do have one of those planned, and I have it in my stash, but I really haven't built one of these kits in a really long time. Another thing, this one does depict the Hemi, and the Hemi was a 500 and some, almost a $600 option, so it was already a pricey car. When you stepped up to the Hemi, you were starting to spend some money, but like I said, it was an upscale market car. And these scoops are actually fiberglass, and they're non-functional, by the way, which is true for all of them for 67. But this one's got a Hemi in it, and a very nicely done Hemi. And it's got a 4-speed. Now the only drawback is this does not have the Dana rear end. It should have a Dana if it's a 4-speed, as Plymouth was pretty strict on that. If you had a Hemi 4-speed, you got a Dana. A 440 4-speed could have a Dana in it, and it's my understanding that most of them did, but not all of them. But all automatics had the 8 3/4. So if this was an automatic tranny, it should have this 8 3/4. But this kit is just, if you haven't built this kit, it's a great kit. And I remember when this kit came out, which I believe was like 94, which that's the date on the box, but it's about the time I remember, because you know, I was still building models. I had my driver's license, I had my wagon, so I had the 383. I was really starting to get to know Mopars and all the different models that they had produced, and getting into history, because I was raised a Ford guy by my dad, raised all Ford, but was starting to discover and branch out into other vehicles. And this was just after high school, and was really loving them, but I was still building models. And this kit came out, and I picked one up, and I don't remember why I picked it up. I think just the scoops on the hood, the box art, and I was just like, this is a pretty good looking car. So I bought one and I got it home, but when I opened the box, it was nothing like the model kits I was familiar with from Revell or Monogram. All the ones I had played with up until this point or built were the 124 scale, really simplified chassis that build up really nice. So I'm not knocking those kits because I love those kits. The 70 GTX and 70 Roadrunner, but came out later, and then the Super B and the Super Bird. Those kits, those were nice kits and easy kits to build. I love those kits. But this one, when I saw this one and all the extra chrome pieces, hood hinges, the stand-up emblem right there, the extra chrome piece there, just all the stuff that was on this, and all the extra stuff under the hood, heater hoses, a separate washer bottle, a separate horn, you know, the master cylinder, all this stuff, the detail right across the top of the grill here, and then even just under the chassis, all the extra detail and the cables and stuff. This kit just blew me away. Now the car wasn't quite that exciting to me, but the way the kit was, it's just a very nice kit. And you know, I really enjoyed it. And when I built this the first time, this is my original build, but it's not my original build. And I'll throw some photos up of it. I painted it gold and put the black stripes on it, and it came out pretty nice. I was pretty happy with it. But the gold doesn't last very well, especially if you don't clear coat it. And after a while, as my builds got better, I ended up stripping it and I rebuilt it and painted it this red. Now, racking my memory, it's airbrushed, but I'm pretty sure this is like Tester's Kiln Red Metallic or something like that, but it was a little Tester's bottle of paint, and I believe it was Kiln Red or something like that, just kind of a dark red. And I wanted to do it in something like that. Now it is an older build. It's probably 15-20 years old since I rebuilt this one. It's one of the ones that I had rebuilt and redid it, but it really needs a good polishing. I cleaned it up a little bit here, but I really just need to clean the windows up, really clean it off. But I redid it, and I'd gotten decals for it, so the decals are a little bit better. I mean, as you can see, I foiled the emblem there, but it's got the silver Belvedere and GTX emblem right there, the 426 on there, which that I believe is foil, and I polished it underneath it to get it to show through. So I polished the paint. Let's see if it'll focus on it. But it came out really nice, and yeah, that one's pretty much a decal, and I believe the GTX is foil as well, but it's kind of hard to remember. And then the extra decals. But I was really happy with the way this one came out, and it displays and builds really well. And you know, it's just a really good kit. And it's funny, like, this is my original build, and I rebuilt it, so it's been built twice. I have 2 or 3, well, definitely 4. I've got another original issue molded in blue GTX kit in my stash, unbuilt. And the more recent release, the yellow box art one, have that as well, which has nicer decals than the tires, the red line tires. Now these I think are decals. I think that's a decal that went on there. And I got that one, and I also have the Sox and Martin version. Now I have not built the race version, which is funny. I've got the kit, and then for whatever reason I wasn't feeling like building it, and I ended up selling the kit. And then the kit came back my way again in the big bulk one I bought like a year and a half ago now, close to 2 years ago. So it ended up in my stash again, and I'm like, well, I don't have that Sox and Martin kit anymore, so I have it now. So maybe I should do a full review of the kit contents of these kits, because I have 3 of the 67 GTXs, and then I also have the 67 Coronet. I have a built one of those, and I have an unbuilt one also. And then the other one that goes along with this, it's all the same tooling, was the 67 Charger. And that kit, I've started it, but I've never finished it. I don't know why. You know, that's an interesting body style to me, that 67 Charger. Have not built it, finished it. I have one started in my stash, and it's been in my stash for a long time. I actually have 4 of the 67 Chargers, 2 of the Revell ones, and 2 of the MPC ones. So, and the MPC ones are a glutton for punishment if you haven't built one of those. And It's not bad. I'm not going to knock it, but it is original tooling dating back to all the way back to '66 when it was released. And body proportions and interior proportions are nice, but the chassis and the engine detail, this kit blows it away. These kits anyway, blow it away. So just these great kits. And I went with the over restored look here on this one, but there's another shot of the underside, and then you can't see much of the interior being black and everything, but these have some really nice details in there, and it's an awesome kit. And I'd highly recommend building one of these because they're just very nice kits, and you know, I enjoy it. And I do plan to cut the roof off of one and make a convertible out of it. Been kind of wanting to do that since Tommy Boy. That movie, they just destroy that car in that one. And for you history buffs, no, none of them were real GTX convertibles. They were all satellite convertibles, and they just dressed them up as GTXs. But they did a really good job dressing it up as a GTX. And there were 3 used for that movie. But that will conclude this one. There's plenty of information there. And you know, someday I'll get that convertible one built. So you guys, you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday. And I appreciate everybody watching and your comments and your subscriptions and hitting that like button. I really do appreciate it. You guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday.